1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Wow. Okay. Where the hell is that? Who the hell is that guy? Who the hell is that guy? Hey. Okay. Okay. Wow. The show must go on. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, with live boxing talk with Raphie. 35, episode 35. This is the 35th episode. Let's first and foremost, let's see what's crack-a-lacking in the chat, and then I will give you a description of the show for those who don't know, those who've never been here before and want to know what's the lowdown on the hold down, what's the scoop. Okay, who we got? We got Toby Bartlett in here. I chatted too early. Yes, Toby. Monique Thompson. Monique Thompson, she's been doing a bit of sunbathing in the back garden earlier on. And now she's listening to the show while watching Love Island. What a combination. What a combination. Yes, she says, Monique gives good advice. She says, smash that like button. Smash it. Ped is in the building. Yes, yes, yes. John Dealey in the building. He says, hit it with a nice long jab. Nice long jab, just like, what do you call him? David Price did to David Allen. Hit up that orbital. Hit the orbital bone of the mouse. Hit it up. Hit it up. Johnny Blaze in the building. Haha. Ped's asking if it's Pastor Raphie today. You'll have to wait and see, my friend. You'll have to wait and see. Feminine Angry Dwarf up in the building. Okay. So, without further delay, let me start up the music. Let me get the music right. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we with the music? Where are we with the music? Let me see. Let me see what we're working with. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, moving the wrong thing. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, we're nice. We're nice. Always gets me in the mood. Let me adjust my angles. Let me adjust the angles. Okay. Okay. Woo. Okay. I'm gonna have to respond to this lady here. This lady says, "Why is this idiot?" She's referring to the video. The video. I know you see me in the video. She's referring to, her name is Mar. Oh, it's not her. It's a man. It's a man. But it seems like he's had some estrogen injections. Seems like he's got more estrogen than testosterone. He's made a comment in my video. Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, I'm scared. I'm scared to rematch Joshua in the UK. I'm scared. So Mario Aranda says, why is this idiot saying that? He wants to go to Mexico. He's the champ. And the whole world have to know this. He can go wherever he want to go. Ruiz King. Now, listen, my friend. Mario, first of all, relax. Let your estrogen levels go down. Take it down. take it down. It's going lower. Just meditating. Your estrogen levels will reduce, my friend. I think you're high on estrogen. So Mario Aranda. I think I made it very, very clear. You don't have to ask what I was saying. I made it very clear in the video. I think the video lasts for 11 minutes. I think even someone with a lower than average IQ can understand what I'm saying. Yeah? Your boy Ruiz, he signed a contract. How are my levels, by the way? How are my levels? Am I peaking? Am I peaking? Let me check. Let me go in the back room. Am I peaking? 1, 2. Yes, Mario. Yeah, I'm a little bit high still, but you know, we can adjust that. Okay. So, yeah, that's good. So, Mario, it's an 11-minute video. By the title is Andy Ruiz. I'm scared to rematch Joshua in the UK. Self-explanatory. Your boy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz Jr. signed a contract. And in that contract was a rematch clause where the stipulations were stipulated. You really like that? The stipulations were stipulated. Yeah? And one of the stipulations use your descriptive term of choice. One of the stipulations stipulates that the final word shall go relating to location. The final word relating to location shall go to none other than Anthony Oluwafemi Olansi Joshua. What's so hard to understand about that? What's so hard to understand about that? Anthony Oluwafemi Olansi Joshua gets the final word of location. That's the contract your boy signed. Where's the complication? Why the consternation? There is no ambiguity, my friend. Read the contract that you signed. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. We UK fans, we want to see it. We don't want to have to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Is it the Pacific or the Atlantic? I think it's the Atlantic. We don't want to have to fly over there this time. Where's my drink? I'm getting thirsty. We want this fight on home soil. Home soil. Yes, Tommy Temple. We want this thing on home soil. Your boy signed a contract. He's obligated to oblige by the terms therein. Where's the ambiguity? Where is the ambiguity? What's so hard to understand? Let's get this thing popping. Let's get it on and popping. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. Okay. Pet says the big man is usually late when he's in Pastor Raphie mode. Well, I wasn't, but I just picked up my phone to go and get into this live stream so I could see it remotely, other than on my computer, so I could see it on my cellular. Here it is. And that's the first thing that popped up, pinged up. I got pinged by this message. But anyway, I wasn't in Pastor mode, but he kind of put me. He kind of put me there. He kind of took me there. He put me there. He kind of took me there. Ross Clark up in the building. Up in the building. Okay. I don't even know if I can't even remember whether I introduced the show or not. Can't even remember if I introduced the show or not. But anyway, let's get it on and popping. Let's get this thing on and popping. Ross Clark in the building. Okay. Okay. Right, I like how the music just comes to a nice little finale there, just as I'm getting ready to move to a different stanza. That's probably why, one of the reasons I find this track so appealing to me. Okay, where are we? Where's the paper? How are my levels? How are my levels? Okay, so I guess this is normally the time where I play my warm-in video. Allow the area to populate. And today is no different to any other. No different to any other day. We're going to go through the procedure that works for us. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And we are going to select, or I, to be more specific, I'm going to select a video. Okay, first and foremost, for anybody who's never been here before, this is a, what is it? Where are we? What is it? Where are we? This is Live Boxing Talk with Raphie, episode 35. And you can see the titles, the subject matters, the proposed subject matters, along with the title, in hashtags. Right there. So those are the things primarily, those are the primary subjects. And of course, there will be secondary topics. Those are primary topics and there will be secondary topics. Oh dear, Ross Clark said it was satisfying watching Thurman lose. I wasn't fussed who won or lost, to be quite frank. I just wanted to see a good fight, and a good fight I did see. We'll be talking about that a little later. If you stick around, Ross Clark, perhaps you'd like to jump on and, give your views on that a little bit later. But for now, okay, first of all, I have to say, everybody in the place who enjoying this shizzle, smash that like button, please. How many moderators we got in here? Okay, we got John Daly. We got Ped and John Daly. Ped and John Daly. Okay. Get This Smoke is up in the building. Wilder is the real dope homie. He be talking. Thank you, Ross Clark. Get This Smoke has obviously been getting that smoke. I think Thurman has made himself unpopular. How did Thurman make himself unpopular, John? How did Thurman make himself unpopular? I'm not, I don't know. I don't know if I follow you. I haven't been following the, I just watched the fight, but I didn't really follow much of the pre-fight build-up. Okay, so for all those who've not been here before, this is a show primarily talking about boxing and related topics. And related topics. Get This Smoke is our resident LDBC representative. Comes out with a lot of controversial statements. We had a very interesting conversation. Interesting conversation after the O2 card, which we shall be talking about very, very shortly. We had a very interesting conversation with John Daly. It was quite confusing at first, and then we had to narrow it down, pin him down, narrow down the argument until we could finally distill the argument down into one simple sentence. And once that feat was achieved, and it was a feat, once that feat was achieved, I was able to pass my assessment, give my assessment. You can see that video. It's time stamped. Where are we? Where are we? Which one is it? Oh yeah, it's called Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas card live. Very popular show where we covered the O2 card. We obviously didn't show the fights themselves, but we commentated over the fights and provided you, I think we provided you with plenty of entertainment in between. You certainly seem to enjoy the show as shown by the numbers. It is only the second live card that I've covered, but what was it, 6, 8, 16, 24. Yeah, probably about 3 times more popular than the last one I did. 3 times more people watch, but of course the channel's bigger, significantly more than 3 times bigger than it was then. So everything makes sense, but it was a very enjoyable show. Lots of compliments for that show. And I myself, I must say, I've gone back and watched it myself a number of occasions, you know, little snippets, little areas between doing things. I've had it on in the background, and yeah, I'm very happy, very satisfied. Very happy, very satisfied with that, with the show, the way it went down, with the bounce. Okay, so where are we? All right, so let's go into this first video, and let me share with you as I select. Let me share as I select. Okay, sharing is caring. So after we get this done, after we select the video, after we play the video, we will get straight into it with our first topic and let the thing roll. Let the thing roll. Let's break into it. Okay, so as you know, I'm a guy, I like to go retro. So we're looking now for a retro video. I just look and I see, oh, this is relatively new. What's going on? So relatively new. What's going on? I like to see something that kind of amuses me to some extent. Of course, that should amuse you also. Damn, scrolling far down, but scrolling a long way down. It's still recent. Oh, have I reached the end? Damn, everything seems so recent. I've reached the end. Just goes to show, time goes fast when you're having a good time. I think I've shown that Lennox Lewis one already. Scrolling down. Okay, let's go with Jenny Sushi again. Always popular. Which one should I go with, the first video or the second one? I'm going to go with the first. Stop the music. Stop that music. And let's go over. To Jenny Sushi. Yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And today, we're talking about the $6 million kiss. You see, Kubrat Pulev was scheduled to fight Anthony Joshua as is mandatory. Post-fight in going. No, this is the one that I want. This is not the one that I want. No. Oh, nah. That's not the one that I want. I know exactly which one. Oh, so it wasn't that. This is the one that I wanted. Yes. So we have an update on the Kubrat Pulev situation. Actions speak louder than words, so let's get into it. Was Kubrat Pulev set up? Let's go. This is the lady concerned.
at Kubrat Pulev's after party. Kubrat in the room.
There's no video, right?
Grinding, winding and grinding. Winding and grinding.
There's no video, right?
Asking if there's no video, right? Tipsy.
Wait, there's no video, right?
Winding and grinding. After the alleged trauma of being kissed by Pulev. Here she is at his after party. Winding and grinding.
Wait, there's no video, right?
Winding and grinding. One of his hangers-on laps. Doesn't want there to be any video.
There's no video, right?
Winding and grinding.
There's no video, right?
Winding and grinding. Titties out. Tipsy. Enjoying life. Winding and grinding.
No video, right? There's no video, right? Wait, there's no video, right?
Titties out.
There's no video, right?
Tipsy.
There's no video, right?
Enjoying life. My.
There's no video, right?
Actions speak louder than words.
There's no video, right?
This is after the alleged trauma, being kissed by Pulev. Was Pulev set up?
There's no video, right?
That's the question that has to be asked. Does this show her frame of mind? Where is the trauma? She's winding and grinding. The next man's lap. Hope she's not married.
There's no video, right?
Winding and grinding. Was Pulev set up?
There's no video, right?
She doesn't look traumatized. This is interesting. She does not look traumatized. Was Kubrat Pulev set up?
There's no video, right? Wait, there's no video, right?
This is an interesting turn of events. Was Pulev set up is the question. We need to know. This doesn't look good.
Wait, there's no video, right?
Case dismissed.
Wait, there's no video, right?
It's Raphael Dawkins. It's Combat Radio. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Susie Sushi, the interviewer. lap dancing at Kubrat Pulev's after party, seeming to be enjoying life to the fullest. To the fullest. Enjoying life to the fullest.
Video, right?
And I'm out.
I'm here.
No.
No, there's no video, right? No. Okay. Okay. Let me get out of that and get into this. Okay, so we're back. That was a warming video. And now we, yeah, 600K for the 600K altogether, 300K for the lawyer. Okay. Okay. So now let's see what the situation is. What's the numbers like? Okay. People are chilling on a Monday. People are chilling out on a Monday. Let's start this music up. Showing up the traps. Oh, man. Yo, bro, I don't know what it's like in Scotland, but down here, it is roasting, mate. It is roasting down in the Midlands, down in the West Midlands, Birmingham sides. Roasting, my friend. Roasting, my friend. Trust me, I kind of feel sun drunk. You know that sun drunk feeling, but I'm okay. Once the show starts, once it's lights, camera, action, all of that goes away. All of that goes away, and it's just on with the show. Like I said, the show must go on. There ain't no lolling about. There ain't no lolling about in this game. It's just up and at 'em. Okay, so global warming for real. It's roasting, mate. It's 9:43 p.m. on this Monday night, July the 22nd, and it is roasting. Got my windows open, still roasting. Okay, so let's crack on with the first topic. Don't even write them down anymore. Mainly, I just write them in the title. Okay, so the first thing, I think we're gonna just get cracking straight into the weekend show. And chop that up. Well, first of all, do I do that or do I do this? What pictures we got? What pictures we got? Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's where we're gonna start. We're not gonna start with that. We're gonna start with this. I got the pictures already up from the video. I know you see me in the video. So we're gonna go with this. We're gonna screen share. We are going to screen share and start off with Andy Ruiz's recent statement. Are we screen sharing? Are we screen sharing? Yes, we are. We're gonna go with Andy Ruiz's statement over the weekend. He was invited onto their Fox, the Thurmond show. I think it was a Thurmond show. Was that PBC show? Yeah. Manny Pacquiao's with PBC now. Yeah, I think it was a PBC show. The Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman headlined card. And they invited Deontay Wilder up in the studio, and also Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. I just flow with it, man. I just flow with it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta play jazz in this game. Some people play staccato. I play jazz, you know? So, yeah, they invited, some people call him the Big Dosser, Wilder. I'll just stick to Deontay. They invited Deontay Wilder, the WBC guy, who's been ducking for years, to this day. And they invited the new duck. It's a shorter, fatter duck. A Mexican duck. They invited the little shorter, fatter Mexican duck on the stage too. So they had the two ducks facing each other, quacking. We had two ducks quacking in the PBC studios, PBC on Fox, and yeah, they were talking. The interviewer asked Ruiz, Andy Ruiz. He said, Andy, so you're the unified champion now? And he said, yeah, I'm the unified champion now. You know, I'm the A side. So I said, Andy, so what's happening with the negotiations for this fight? What's happening with the negotiations? So he said, well, you know, we're in negotiations. They want it over here, over there, but I want it over here. You know, I want it over here, and let's run it back. Oh man, let's run it back. But the man's not signing the contract. That's what we call double talk. PC Jacobs says inside Wilder was mad when they told him he was the second best heavyweight. To his face, to this day. To this day. I think he was Boom Boom Ray Mancini. Was he a middleweight back in the day? Or a welterweight? But I don't know. I can't remember. But Ray Boom Boom Mancini. A lot of people have forgotten that he was a fighter. They just think he's some kind of analyst now or TV guy. But back in the day, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, he was something special, man. He was something special. He came to fight. He had his trunks pulled up just a couple of inches below his nipples, and he came to fight, mate. He came to fight. And I think he said to Deontay, he said, yeah, man, I mean, you're the champ, but this guy's the 3-belt champ, 4-belt champ. This is the real champ. This is the #1 champ. And Deontay Wilder a little part of him must have died inside. You know, a little part of him must have died inside, but he kept on smiling. You know, I'm Deontay Wilder, you know, I'm Deontay Wilder, bronze, bomb, boom. Kept on smiling, but he must have hurt inside. A little part of him must have died that night. A little part of him must have died. Yeah, a little part of him must have died. Yeah, that's all the belts right there. Yeah, so 4 belts looking at each other. Yeah, so the guy said to Ruiz, yeah, what's going on with negotiations? And Ruiz says, well, you know, we're in negotiations. You know, they want it over there, but I want it over here. Come on. Let's do this over here. MSG, let's do this. Yeah, you want to get it done. You want to get it done, but you won't sign the damn contract. How the hell are you going to get it on if you don't sign the contract? You got to sign the contract here. You've already signed the contract. Now you have to sign the bout agreement for this particular fight. You've already agreed about the rules and regulations for the rematch when you sign for the first fight. But now you got to sign up for the second fight. Now you got to get it on. Now you got to get it on. Got to put your name on the bout agreement and come over to the UK. Yeah? We're not taking any plane rides over there for the second one. We did that for the first one. Now you got to come over to the UK. Pure and simple. Stop messing around. Stop ducking and dodging. Dipping and diving. We want to see the fight on UK soil. 15? Have you been counting? Who's counting? Oh, dear. Yeah, I'm ready to fiber. So, that's the first topic. That's the first topic. Andy Ruiz. What's his name? Rubles. Manny Rubles. His trainer. Everybody's smiling over there. Everybody's smiling over there. But you gotta come, you sign the contract, you gotta honor the contract. First step was to sign the contract. You got $5 million for the first fight, reputedly. Now you gotta seal the deal. Seal the deal. Sign it, put your name on the, put your signature on the bout agreement for the second fight. And let's get it cracking. No lacking. Okay, so that was the first topic. First topic out of the way. Where are we? Okay. Yes. Okay, so stop sharing. Stop sharing and let's us, where are we? Okay, let me get into the page now. Where are we? Okay, I think I should probably send out some invites. Probably send out some invites, invitations. Invitations. Where are we? Boom. Application window. What am I sharing? What the hell am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Cancel. Send out the invite so we can chop this thing up. Copy. Where are we? No, that's not what I wanted to do. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's go again. Let's go paste. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Next on the list. Okay, next on the list. Well, actually, we'll go with that for now. We'll go with that for now. We'll go with that for now. Oh, dear. Okay, so the invitations have been sent. And in the meantime, I'll crack on rotating this thing. Got the rotation, got the thing on rotation. Yes, Red Glove Militant up in the building. Red Glove Militant up in the building. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Keeping this thing on rotation. Keeping the panel rotating. Keeping it fresh. Okay, so second topic. Second topic. Dillian Whyte. No. Should we go with Dillian Whyte or should we go with Manny? Or should we go with Pacquiao? Should we go with Pacquiao versus Thurmond next? Yes. I think we will go with Pacquiao v. Thurmond next. Now we're saving White. We're saving White for later. We're saving that for dessert. Yes. Who is this before me? Rocking the black. Oh, he's wearing the Elise. The man's come back with the Elise. Okay. I think you might have to put your camera up just a touch. She's chopping the top of yeah, there we go. Okay, come on in, John. Unmute yourself, my friend.
I just didn't want to come in too loud, Raphie, that's all.
Okay, I got you, yeah, well, that's the way to come in anyway. Come in on mute and then boom. Come in on mute. Even get the smokes coming in on mute as well now. You see, we bring them in, John, and we train them. We train them the proper way.
I'm a fast learner, that's all.
Get This Smoke is in the building. How do you do, Get This Smoke?
Quick study, they call it.
How are you today, Get This Smoke? Huh?
Brand, how are you? Thanks for asking.
I'm very good. I'm very good. Okay, so let's get crack-a-lacking. We're keeping the panel rotating. Keeping the people guessing on their toes. So the first topic. The first topic. Who are you talking to? Lay Craft, aka TBK. Says you're talking rubbish. Who are you talking to, Lay? Who's that addressed to? Who's that addressed to, Lay? You can't just throw that out there and, let everybody think they're the target. What's going on? I'll let Lay get back to us. Yeah, I'll let Lay get back to us. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutement. Okay, so John Dealey, do you want to start us off with the Thurman, your impression of the Thurman Pacquiao fight? Did you watch it first and foremost? Because I know you had a busy weekend.
I've caught up on it.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it live.
No.
I was pretty wrong.
What was your prediction? What did you expect?
My prediction was Thurman on points, fairly or unfairly.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Pacquiao did a really good job.
He did a really good job.
Can't fault him for it at all.
I was impressed.
The only thing is, there was no testing, was there?
Allegedly there was NSAC testing, Nevada State Athletic Commission testing, but there was no VADA testing.
I don't believe Nevada's ever caught anybody.
Right, so yeah.
And they have been known to let the old IV go under the radar on occasion.
Well, yeah. So when we say there was no testing, officially there was some kind of lower tier testing, but in reality, what we're saying is that in reality there was no testing.
They don't call it the Wild West.
Testing.
They don't call it the Wild West for nothing.
The Wilder West. Okay, Get This Smoke. Come in with your. Did you see the fight?
I did. I watched it.
Okay, and you're. Oh, you watched it. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I watched it in real time, and I came away with 116-115 Pacquiao.
116-115. You had one round in it. You had one round in it.
I had the knockdown basically making the difference.
Okay, so it was level, and the only difference was the knockdown. That was what separated them, in your estimation.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is very, very interesting. Let me give people some visuals. Where are we? Yeah, got some visuals. Yeah, carry on.
After Thurman got clipped, he didn't really have a plan B. I think ring rust, and he showed in that fight to me that he doesn't have a very high boxing IQ, and he doesn't. He's not really able to judge distance very well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just apart from the ring rust.
Ring rust for who?
for Thurman.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think that there's just to me there was a gear that Pacquiao showed, just a level of performance that he operates at. That's just a level above. It's a gear above what Thurman's output. Like, I think he's just what is it? It's different. It's not so much that he's levels above, but I think also he's a level above. Yeah, I think he's just level above Thurman as a fighter.
Pacquiao is a level above Thurman as a fighter, is your pronouncement.
However many levels, many levels, right? It could be one level, it could be several, but he's
Okay, my pronouncement. My view on the matter, how I saw it. I don't know if I got my paper here. Don't know if I got my paper here. I actually have my round by round breakdown. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so round 1, Thurman dropped. Round 2, 3, 4, and 5, there was a similar pattern where Thurman spent too much time on his bike, as we say over here in the UK, too much time on his unicycle, backpedaling, and that was the wrong thing to do that was the wrong thing for Thurman to do. Excuse me. That was the wrong thing for Thurman to do against Pacquiao, backpedaling. All that did was, I think I hear a sound, so that means that where are we? Oh yes, we are joined. We have another competitor. Okay, so there was too much backpedaling. What that did in this particular fight is it gave Pacquiao too much space. It gave him too much space to operate. And as a result of that, in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, what Pacquiao did was he just basically styled on Thurman. According to my scorecard, Pacquiao was just styling on Thurman. Pacquiao took those rounds. By the time he got to round 6 and 7, there was a change. There was a shift. What happened was that Thurman started to actually step forward. He started to kind of kill the space. He started to kill Pacquiao's operating space. He started working essentially off his front foot rather than his back foot. So he's stepping in round 6 and 7. And the consequence of that was he started working off his front foot. Yeah. Started working off his front foot instead of sitting back or skirting back. And he starts being first. Yeah, that was the key in round 6 and 7. Thurman started being first. Instead of letting Pacquiao get his fast flurries off and then dip off to the side, one side or the other, he started to step in and he was first. Started being first, started to get the first jab in, the first hook in. That was the difference between round 6 and 7. By the time we got to round 8, I had to mark that as a draw. Too much time on the back foot for Thurman. He went back to the back foot. It didn't work for him in this fight. The back foot did not work for him in this fight. It just allowed Pacquiao to style on it. Round 9, Thurman, more front foot action from Thurman. So that was good for him. Whenever he went on the front foot, whenever he was first, whenever he looked to be first, it worked for him. Round 10, Pacquiao bosses the round. Body shot has Thurman pedaling backwards. That was that body shot when Thurman kind of spit his gum shield into his glove. Needed more time, needed more air. And then put it back in as Pacquiao launched another attack. That was a brutal body shot to the torso of Thurman. Round 11, Thurman back on the front foot. Edges the round, in my opinion, because whenever he went on the front foot, he had better results. Whenever he tried to be first, he had better results. Whenever he tried to play the counter game, didn't work out too well for him at all. Pacquiao was still too fast, even at 40 or 41, however old he is. round 12. Thurman wins back and forth. Yeah, Thurman wins the back and forth. Even though it's competitive, I gave 10 and, or rather 11 and 12 to Thurman. So I think there was a gap of, I can't see my score here. Where's my score? Oh yeah, 115, 112. So it was about 3 rounds in it. Yeah, about 3 rounds in it. That was my assessment. That was my assessment. And before I go to Red Glove, before I go to Red Glove Militant, I'm just gonna go into the chat. Let me stop sharing for a second. Yeah, I'll rotate back around the panel. But let me go into the chat first and foremost, see what people are saying. Okay. I like the likes to watching ratio is good. Let me see. Let me see what people are saying. White one, ZB. Where is Don ZB? Is Don ZB in the chat? Is Don ZB in the chat?
No, he couldn't pay his cell phone bill because he lost the bet.
White one, ZB lost his bet. Now he couldn't pay his cell phone bill. I won't be joining us for a month. Damn. Don ZB, say it ain't so. Say that, come in the show your face. Bro, you're not banned. Show your face. It's okay, bro. Everybody's wrong sometimes. Fireman in the building. Thurman's plan B was to wait for Manny to tire, but the rounds got away from him. Yeah, I would love to see that rematch. Okay, so we have been joined by the Red Glove Militant. Red Glove Militant, come in, my friend. Tell me, come on in. Tell me, what did you see the fight?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, give me a breakdown. Give me your assessment.
My assessment is that I was wrong.
What was your pick? What was your pick? Tell us your pick first of all.
I thought it was going to be a split decision for Keith Thurmond, but it went a split decision for Manny Pacquiao, and I think Manny Pacquiao won the fight. I mean, he showed that he, I think this fight was really a testament to his, to the fact that he is elite, now he is a legend. He's earned his accolades, and really the only reason why I picked against him is I thought his age would play a factor in this, but it didn't. So much, nothing but respect to Manny Pacquiao. I give him full credit for beating Keith Thurmond. I've heard a lot of people talking about, Manny Pacquiao could have been on something. Well, it's Keith Thurman's fault for saying, he literally said, Manny Pacquiao could use whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Keith Thurmond did that to himself. So there's no excuses on my end. The better man won, and I didn't do a scorecard, but from the eye test, I would say Keith Thurmond got 3, 4, maybe if I'm being really generous, 5 rounds.
Okay. And that was the assessment from Red Glove Militant.
I did not bet on the fight. That's why I'm able to attend today.
Yeah, I didn't get around to doing any betting, and that was probably a good thing. So that was the first breakdown. I'm going to circle back to John Dealey in case there's anything you want to add before we move on.
I just think that there's too many fighters taking too much time out of the ring, and Thurman's probably one of the biggest culprits out there is supposed to be a top-rated fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to be fighting more frequently.
Yeah. I would imagine that Thurman, because Thurman wasn't far off when he figured out what worked. By the time he figured out what worked, I bet he would have been kicking himself because he did figure it out.
And I know I've said or insinuated there's a possibility that Manny was on gear, but at the end of the day, he's 40 years old and he won well. So, in my opinion, anyway. So you can't take anything away from Manny Pacquiao after that.
He did win well. He certainly did. And further to your point about staying out of too many fighters, spending too much time out of the ring, I totally agree. With Thurmond, for example, I got the impression that, the feeling. It's just a feeling, but I got the feeling that at the end of the fight, he'd have been saying to himself, damn, I lost, but I wasn't that far away. Taking nothing away from Manny Pacquiao. He blitzed those early rounds, absolutely blitzed them and impressed me. I mean, I've seen him fight many, many times before, but at the age that he's at now, I have to say I was highly impressed on the Pacquiao side. On the other side of the coin, I have to imagine, I have to wonder, I have to think, was Thurman left saying to himself, damn, if I'd have just taken this fight, if I'd have been fighting more frequently, the equation could have been altered. I would have made the adjustment. I could have made the adjustment quicker. I could have found out what worked quicker. And we saw what worked. What worked was when he was on his front foot. What worked when he was being first. What worked was when he was being first. You know, according to my scorecard, when he was first, he basically won the round. The more often he was first is the more often he won the round. The rounds where he spent backpedaling, he just got picked off by Manny Pacquiao mercilessly. So yeah, I have to wonder. I haven't seen any interviews by Thurman thus far, but I have to wonder what his mindset is. I also have to wonder, is there a rematch clause? That is a very interesting question. Is there a rematch clause? I haven't seen anything on it, on the topic. So that is going to be interesting. Would he take a rematch straight away? If there is the option to do so. I normally don't agree with immediate rematches, but I would imagine Thurman would be itching to get back in there. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, so Get This Smoke. Is there anything you'd like to add on this topic before we move on?
Just on I definitely agree that I saw signs of ring rust, but I also saw Pacquiao was a wilier fighter. Even when he was exhausted, he was able to feint Thurman into just being paralyzed, into not throwing shots. When actually the fight was there to be had, Thurman didn't have what it takes. He just didn't turn up the heat. And to me, that's more of a, I don't know, that's harder to fix than being sharp. He could be sharper, but I just think that Pacquiao is just a level above. Even if they did an immediate rematch, maybe it'd be different, but I don't think it'd be markedly different. I think Pacquiao would still come out strong. I expected him to come out strong. Round one is when everyone is you're at your strength, and
Can't hear you.
Oh, if Thurman got caught going backwards,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of going lateral, instead of moving, his lateral movement just it let him down. So,
Well, he did best going forward. He did best going forward.
I mean, but
not backwards or sideways, forward.
Yeah, but that was also after he let Pacquiao, throw his punches. I think that was a strategy. I think they were always had planned to go on the front foot at a certain point in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Too late. Like he just stuck to a game plan. He stuck to a game plan. Didn't have the correct feel, but also the game plan could have paid off if he pressed the gas. And see, I gave him round 8. I gave him round 4 also. There's a couple rounds in there that you didn't give him that I did. And he did relatively well. But yeah, I think the fight was there for him, and he didn't execute. And Manny did a good job of faking like he was still in the fight when he was pretty much done. But Thurmond didn't capitalize on it, so it is what it is. I maybe he's domesticated, maybe he's civilized. Maybe this is a tune-up fight, but I think if they did an immediate rematch, I see the hunger show stronger in Pacquiao than it is in Thurmond.
Okay, Red Glove Militant, any final words on this topic before we move on?
Only final words I have is I would like to see a rematch just to see if things can play out differently. Sometimes you have to take a loss to rebuild, and I would just like to see what Keith Thurman's reaction would be in a rematch. Like how would he handle a rematch? Would he completely change the game plan? Would he bring somebody different into his training camp? Not really necessarily say, replace his trainer necessarily, but kind of do like what Anthony Joshua's doing. I would just like to see, or rumored to be doing. I don't know if that's a official thing that's happening, but I would like to see how he would handle the loss and see what he would do in a rematch. It's very possible that Manny just has his number, or it could be that this is a wake-up call that Keith Thurman needs to say to himself, well, I need to stay more active. Getting married and all this stuff is cool and all. I mean, not saying that he shouldn't, do what he wants to do in his personal life, but this is a very physical and mentally demanding sport. What is he going to do in a rematch? So that's how I feel about the situation.
Indeed. Like I said, I went back and forth. Initially, I thought Pacquiao, I thought Thurman was the favorite for me, was my favorite to get it. And then, I had to sit down, ponder, watch some video, did a few little video studies. And I ended up, just before the fight, I ended up switching. I switched over to Manny Pacquiao. I just thought, what switched it for me was just the tidier work of Manny Pacquiao. That was really the deciding factor that made me switch. It was the tidier work, the more compact work, the more crafty work. The tidier work, the craftier worker, the tidier worker. I went with that guy, and that guy was Manny Pacquiao, the senator. I went with the senator, and I was proved to be right. But to me, the fight was sufficiently close. Well, I was highly, the guy's 40. I asked some questions, I raised some questions. Come on, Father Time catches up with everybody. Sure, he's going to catch up with Manny. I asked the question, had he caught up with him at this stage? But no, I went with him. I stuck with him. I went with him. And it was a good thing to switch in this occasion. It's not always a good thing. But on this occasion, it was a good thing to switch. And okay, I think we've chopped that up very nicely. I'm satisfied. Chopped that up very, very nicely. And now we are about to... What the hell is there Chisora doing? We are about to switch topics. And we are going with... here we are. Let us share. Let me share. So it will be very abundantly clear what the topic is. Application window. Boom. Okay, so we're switching topics. I think I'm sharing. We are switching topics to Derek Chisora. Open. Derek Chisora and Arthur. No, that's not. Oi, I'll stop that. And Arthur Spilker. That can't be it. That's something else. I don't know what the hell that was. That must have been the warming up. Where are we? Boom. This is more like it. Okay, so Derek Chisora versus Arthur Spilker. A very, very exciting fight. I would be surprised if there's any. I'd be very surprised if there's anybody out there who doesn't know the outcome of this fight yet. I'm going to start with Get This Smoke. Get This Smoke. Take it away. Your opinions on the fight. Did you see the fight? Get This Smoke. Is he still with us? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Get This Smoke is otherwise indisposed. So, John Daly, over to you. Did you see the fight?
Yeah.
I did, but you come back to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
No, I'll come
back to me in a second, please.
I'll come back to you in a second. Yeah. Okay, John Daly.
Spilker's not durable.
Mm-hmm.
Bryant Jennings knocked him out. Is it something like 2013?
2000, was that 2013?
Yeah, it was quite a long time prior to Wilder fighting him.
That is interesting.
Kawanaki knocked him out in about 5.
Kawanaki knocked him out too.
Yeah, Kawanaki knocked him out quicker than Wilder.
Damn, but slower than Chisora.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's getting knocked out by guys that aren't really noted for their punching power. Brian Jennings isn't considered to be a puncher by really anybody.
No, he's not considered to be a puncher by anybody's standards.
Kawanaki hasn't fought good enough opposition for me to really decide how good his power is.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek, he's a strong guy, but he's not a noted puncher.
He's not known to be a knockout specialist. He can knock people out, but he's not known to be a knockout specialist.
Yeah, well, he put Takam to sleep, didn't he? But
yes, he did.
Yeah, no, he did, and it was it was out of nowhere as well.
Yeah, he was getting his ass beat in that fight.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Derek's a bit like that, though, isn't he? He's a bit of a character. He's a bit unpredictable. But for me, Spilker was the ideal fight for him to sort of come back and look good at, because Spilker is. I don't understand how he's been rated where he is. I don't really get it. He's an ex-Polish football hooligan who could easily make cruiserweight if he took his diet seriously.
Yes, indeed.
But I like Derek, and I'm glad he won.
I like Derek, and I'm glad he won also. Very glad he won. I didn't expect. I thought I had Spilker as a potential winner of the. In fact, I picked Spilker to win this fight just because, for a couple of factors. One, I think he's a bit younger than Derek. Although, how old is Derek? How old is Derek really? I'm not saying what it shows on Boxrec. I'm saying how old is he really? I don't believe. You
think he's got one of those canoe birth certificates?
He's got one of those. I think his birth certificate came from the same guy who wrote up Luis Ortiz's.
Yeah.
That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. So I think most people, most heavyweight boxers these days are younger than Derek Chisora. That's what I think. I have no proof. That's just my suspicion. I could be terribly wrong. But so I gave the youth to Spilker, and I gave Plus, he's a southpaw, and Derek admits he doesn't like southpaws. So those two factors, with those two factors in mind, I thought that Spilka could just dance around and, you know, outwork him, outbox him, maybe, being a southpaw. Never in my wildest dreams. Never in the middle. That's not the knockout. Where's the beard gun? I'm sure he had a beard a second ago. Okay. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that Derek Chisora would be knocking out Spilka in the second round. I did not see that coming. No way, no how. Okay, so who do we have? Red gloved militant. Did you see the fight?
I haven't seen it, but I did pick Chisora to win. I did think he was going to knock him out. I thought it was going to be later, though. I didn't expect him to knock him out in the second round. I just feel that Spilka is shot. You know, and I don't think this is so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Chisora, the fact that he was able to knock him out in the second round does say something about Chisora. But I think it says a lot more about Spilka. Like, he probably should, in all honesty, either retire or accept the fact that he's pretty much a journeyman.
Yes.
So those are my thoughts.
Yes. So were you surprised? Were you surprised about the second round KO?
That I was. I was expecting it to be probably more like a mid-round, 6th, 7th, maybe 8th round, but I didn't expect it to be the second round, that's for sure. But like I said, I think it really speaks a lot for where Spilka is at in his career. I don't see him ever becoming a heavyweight champion. You know, he did do okay against Deontay Wilder. You know, he did a lot more than I expected him to do in the Wilder fight. But yeah, like getting knocked out second round by Chisora, I think he probably should consider going ahead and retiring.
Yeah, I think he needs to spend more time with his lady and his kids.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm
Okay,
back.
so yeah. Before I go to you, Get This Smoke. I just want to go into the chat for a second. Yes, Big Boys Boxing in the building. Hope you're doing well. He says Spilka is done at elite level. I would have to concur. Scott 70 in the building. Spilka was there to get beat, in my opinion. And well, Derek Chisora certainly was happy to oblige. No question about it. Earn with Hearn in the building. Chisora looked good. Spilka was first KO'd by Brian Jennings. Many believe it was Wilder who went 9 rounds with him. Damn. Okay, Hamed in the building. Who else we got? Scott says couple of switch hitters in a round here. Oh dear. This chat is not toxic, Hamed. There are toxic people, but they don't make the chat toxic. The chat is lively, active, and good. Anything that needs taken care of gets taken care of, as you can see. Okay, over to what else we got? What else we got? Scrolling up. Okay. Where is Don Z being here yet? Has Don Z been here yet? I can't see him. Okay, over to you. Get This Smoke. Your thoughts on Spilka v Chisora. Did you see the fight?
Yeah, I did see the fight. I think
great.
that Spilka still can make some money renting himself out for your highlight knockout reels. There's a couple of guys who could, who could use a viral knockout. I'm not sure if that one's going to go viral, although he did drop like a sack of potatoes. It
That one has to go viral. Has to go viral. He went down like I said it in the live chat of the fight. He went down like those explosive experts who bring down tall buildings.
Yeah.
And it has to come down perfectly vertically.
Yeah, he collapsed. There was definitely a collapsing going on. It looked like he'd been just switched off. But the splay, the Wilder, he had the crucified. He was doing the snow angels. I think maybe it's how you fall too is what is also a thing about going viral, and also the sound it makes. Man, that Brazil shot. Anyway, Spilka can still make some money. He should rest his brain, get out there, and maybe have a couple more gatekeeper fights for guys. Who knows what's going to happen in the after Parker or Povetkin or something. Well, maybe not Povetkin. I think Povetkin is a little bit out of his reach, but Michael Hunter. Well, maybe but Michael Hunter's not known for his knockouts. I mean, not for knockout power. At least not for like a viral kind of knockout.
Not viral. Are you saying Michael Hunter versus who? Michael Hunter versus who?
Versus Spilka.
Oh yeah. Okay.
To make him look like a a knockout artist.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I think that ultimately Spilka will stick around because there are people out there who, like you say, are still going to want to highlight reel, somebody to give them that highlight reel knockout. And we've seen that formula work in the past. So I think that Spilka will still be able to claim a payday in that role of the highlight reel knockout guy, because people still remember him taking Wilder to 9 rounds before he got finished. So I think he still has that name recognition. And I think he's got another couple of knockouts in him before he finally hangs them up. Still got another couple of knockouts left to receive before he walks away. Hopefully he walks away with as many of his faculties intact as possible. But these knockouts certainly are not doing him any good whatsoever. No good whatsoever. Okay, so where are we now? Who else was on that card that we should talk about? Oh, of course. How could I almost forget? David Allen versus David Price. And what a fight that was. I must say I enjoyed that fight very much so. Who am I going to bring in first? John Daly. Did you see the Price v. Allen spectacle?
Yeah. And Price was always a class amateur.
Yeah.
He's got all the tools to take him apart, except for the one thing that nobody thought he had, which was a gas tank. He did it, and he did it well. So you got to give him all the credit for that.
Damn.
I did hear Tommy's theory, and I would like to point out that UCAD managed to catch Tyson Fury for abusing nandrolone. So I think it is less likely that he was on the EPO.
Yes. UCAD, I mean, taking stuff in the UK is very, very dangerous. UCAD will catch you and they will spank you severely. You will get a severe spanking from UCAD. So I did not. I don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to that. I mean, Dillian Whyte got 2 years for Jack 3D, which is nothing specialist. It's
over the counter.
It's over the counter. Dillian Whyte got 2 years for an over the counter pre-workout.
Yeah, and wasn't Kid Galahad's a similar situation as well?
I don't know. I thought it was steroids with Kid Galahad. I don't know though, but I never looked into
it. It was a pre-workout.
I never looked into the Kid Galahad thing. Never looked into it. But for sure, we know that Dillian Whyte got a 2-year ban for a pre-workout powder, which is available over the counter. 2 years. 2 years. Crazy. So the notion that Pricey would go on the EPO, which I believe you have to inject. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to inject that shizzle. The notion that Pricey would be on some injectable shizzle, I thought to be highly unlikely.
He looked the best on the scales. He's looked a long time as well.
He did look the best on the scale. He looked for in a long time. He looked in good shape. He did look to be in good shape, and he was kind of. He had to perform. He had to perform. He did get that win against Cash Ali. Yes, he did. But he was under pressure to perform. It was almost like, loser leaves town type of situation. And so, yeah, he had every motivation in the world to perform. And also, the guys who were both known to each other. So I think sometimes when friends or associates at least fight each other, sometimes you can get some cracking fights because neither guy wants to lose to the other guy.
I think though, Price, I mean, he's got a bronze at the Olympics.
Yeah.
He's a serious class above Dave Allen.
Yes.
In terms of ability. In
terms of skills, yeah, skill level. Yeah.
And he showed it.
He certainly did. But who did you pick for the fight?
I came on and I said Dave Price would have to win in 3 rounds or his gas tank would go. And I had Allen winning in about the 7th.
Yeah,
so I was completely wrong.
Yeah, you had Allen. Yeah, well, I think I don't know who did pick. I can't recall anybody who did pick Pricey to win.
It's the gas tank issue. I mean, it's what he's known for failing on.
Yeah,
he's got all the tools in the toolbox apart from a gas tank. But if he's got a gas tank now, I mean, he could certainly be a good fight for people at British level. I don't know if they'd want to put Dubois in with him yet. I mean, I'd like to see that fight now. But,
Dubois.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult fight to make.
Yeah.
But
you have to cross the street to make that fight. You have to go across the street.
I agree that it's not going to be an easy thing to do, but I'd like to see how Dubois would handle his length and his size.
Yeah.
And his power, really, because that's one thing we haven't really seen. Dubois weighs the significantly smaller guy.
No.
And he would be against Price by quite a way.
I think most people are significantly smaller against Price, are they not?
Well, Joshua and Fury are similar.
Well, yeah.
I think Joshua's got a reach on him, but Price has got height on him.
Yeah, yeah.
Fury's bigger. Deontay Wilder's got reach and similar. Got reach on him and a little losing a bit of height. Price has probably got the weight on all of them apart from Fury. But if Fury was at his fighting weight, he'd probably be lighter than Price.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. So, shut that up with John. Let's move along to who we got. Red Gloved Militant. Did you see the fight?
I haven't seen it, but I did pick Allen to win. I thought Allen.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. When you come on, each time you come on, there's like this howling wind sound. So what I recommend,
because I had the AC on. My bad.
Okay. So what I recommend is when you come on, if you kill whatever's going on, kill that.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna work out better because for the first few seconds, we're always fighting with this the AC sound. Okay, but you're good now. Everything's clear. So you saw the fight.
I have not. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight because I picked Allen to win, and I want to see like what happened.
Do you know what round it finished in?
It was the 7th, right?
It was the 10th. It was the 10th.
Oh, it was the 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that he refused to come out of his corner, right?
Well, he had to go to the hospital after suspected broken orbital bone. We haven't got any confirmation of whether it was broken or not, but it was suspected. He had one hell of a black eye, and then he's come out in the press. So he's thinking of retiring because he's been suffering from health issues for the last year. He's been having headaches. So there's a whole raft of things that he's put out there, and he did finish. He did request his corner pull him out of the fight after the 10th round when he was on his stool. So I guess that's what's called quitting on your stool.
Yep. Well, I mean, at least he's being very smart. Like if he has been having health problems and all that stuff is true, then he has to do what's best for him.
Yeah.
I mean, as a boxing fan, I don't like it when boxers don't come out of their corner or they quit at all. But at the same time, this is their health that we're talking about. You guys do have families, and you don't want to end up like how some other boxers have ended up, where they end up paralyzed for the rest of their life,
you don't want that,
or even worse, sometimes dead. So
yeah.
I mean, my understanding is that he has some kind of a relationship with Vince McMahon behind the scenes.
I didn't know.
That's what I've heard.
I didn't know. He's a northern guy. I don't know how he would have connected with Vince McMahon. I don't know how he would have connected. I don't think he's one of these traveling guys. He doesn't seem like a guy who would be spending time in Miami. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's like
I've heard different rumors. I don't know if they're true.
I haven't heard that.
But if they are true, then maybe that is something that he, depending on how bad the health issues are.
Yeah.
If they're extreme, then maybe he shouldn't do anything, anything physical.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about Vince McMahon, I don't know if everybody in the chat understands what you mean by Vince McMahon. He's the WWF guy, WWE guy, the head honcho over there with wrestling. But one thing I'd have to say about that is wrestling is, if you've got concussion issues, wrestling is the last thing you should be thinking about.
Yeah, because even though the drama is fake, and they do have ways of reducing the impact of a lot of the moves. You still have to have a certain level of physicality and a certain level of fit, just good health overall in order to do that. So, but I mean, if his health is maybe he shouldn't be taking legit punches to the head, but maybe he can, deal with choreographed, reduced impact. Maybe if the rumors I've heard are true, maybe he should consider going into the WWE. I heard that he was already considering that before.
I think that's just a rumor over in the US, my friend. I've never heard that on these shores.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that.
That is something that I heard.
Yeah, I've never heard that on these shores. That must be unless anybody in the chat wants to contradict me and says that they've heard it on these shores. But as of now, I think I've never heard that rumor before. But one thing I will get in, well, I'm going to touch on the WWE and wrestling in general. It is an impact game, and it does wear out your joints. It wears out your back, your knees. It's not good on the spine, that type of Showtime wrestling. It's not good for you, and concussion is a part of it also. So I think having said that, the counteraction that you could, if you're a Ronda Rousey and you do it, although I never watched her in there, but I'm assuming that it's very, very light work. But with the guys, it's not going to be light work. You know, there's multiple stories. I've never watched that stuff, but I have seen stories or read stories or watched stories of wrestlers who, you know, end up in a bad physical condition after years of touring, years of getting slammed, years of wear and tear on the body. It's a highly taxing. Very few guys walk out to that endeavor fully healthy, is my understanding. Okay, so Red Glove Militant left me hanging there. Just let
My
me.
apologies. There was a lot of noise. What was the last part of what you said?
Yeah, my understanding of that WWE, that kind of show wrestling kind of thing, is that very few guys walk out of it healthy. That's my understanding.
I haven't watched it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I would say when I was in high school, the last time I watched it.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that I used to watch are still involved, and they still have their faculties. So I think it really just depends, because my understanding is that Brock Lesnar, who I'm pretty sure you're aware of, because I'm
aware of Brock, yeah.
Yeah. So my understanding is that he left MMA because of he had health issues.
Yeah.
But he still wrestles in WWE. So I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't watched WWE in probably close to 20 years at this point in my life.
Gotcha.
But I know that there are guys that I used to watch that are still doing it in the ring. So
yeah.
I think it really depends on your, how durable you are,
mm-hmm.
and probably a couple other factors as well.
Yeah,
so it depends. Yeah, so I think it just depends on Dave Allen's situation, and depending on where his health is, maybe that's something that he could consider doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely recommend that if he is if that is a consideration that he has, definitely need to check with his physicians, because if you're considering retiring from boxing, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
It'll be counterproductive for you to retire from boxing just to end up in the same situation because you went into another physical, another, I'm not going to call it a sport. Yeah, just another physical endeavor. So he definitely should check with a physician if that is something that he's interested in.
100%. Thank you for the insight on that. Have I gone to get this smoke yet? Get this smoke. Get this smoke. Okay. Get the smoke. Are you there? Or no?
You might be getting some smoke.
Get this smoke is on a smoke break. Get this smoke is on a smoke break. Okay, so have I given my pronouncement on this fight yet? I don't think I have. In which case, let me do so. Okay, so this was a tale of the job. If anybody who hasn't checked it out yet, checked out the fight accompanying stream for the fight stream, the O2 card, the Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas stream. Go and check it out. Broke it down round by round. It was a tale. I think the whole fight could be summed up with 2 words or 3 words. The price jab. That was the whole tale of the fight. The whole tale of the fight was the jab of Price. Allen, the David Price jab. It was a thing of beauty. Too many times you see tall fighters. Too many times I see tall fighters not fighting to their strengths, not using their God-given tools, not using not using the length. That's your God-given length. That was a gift. That was a gift from the above. And too many times I see fighters with the reach, not using that God-given blessing. But in this fight, that was not the case. That was not the case. It was some text, but it was a beautiful fight. It was actually, I would go as far as saying it was a beautiful fight. It was a beautiful thing to behold. A man, a long man, just working, just doing what he's supposed to do, doing what he should do, just working behind the jab. And that's all he did. That's all he needed to do to win. That's all he needed to do to win the fight, stick behind the jab. And that's exactly what he did. I think 90% of the shots he threw was the jab. And he just did it consistently, repetitively, and percussively. He just pounded his jab into the face of Allen, minute after minute, round after round, until Allen ultimately quit on his stool. It was, I mean, I hope Allen gets the medical treatment that he needs and he recovers as well as he can recover. But it was from the standpoint of someone who likes to see the tall guy use his God-given talents. It was a thing of beauty just to see Pricey working behind that jab, that percussive jab, that concussive jab, just round after round after round after round. The jab, sometimes he'd throw in a right hook. Sometimes instead of the jab, he'd throw in a left hook just to mix it up a bit, then follow with the jab. And then jab, 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 right hook, left hook. Allen might clinch, a little bit of an uppercut, and he was just that round after round after round after round. To me, it was a thing of beauty. It was a beautiful fight. Yeah, I would watch that one again. I will watch that one again. I look forward to watching that one again, even though I know what happens. It was just, and then there was the drama of wondering, when is Pricey's gas tank going to empty? Because we've seen him before doing well one round, and then the next round, boom, he's empty. It was like he was connected to the mains, and someone just cut the mains, just hit the lights, and he was out. Like an inflatable doll, somebody just pulls out the stopper or whatever, and the air just comes out. We've seen that so many times with Pricey. And we was wondering, when is it going to happen? But not today, my friends. Not today. He stayed the course, and he just worked behind an efficient jab. Didn't blow everything he had with the jab. He just used it in a percussive sense. Just boom, jab, hook, jab, right hook, double jab, left hook, jab, right hook. It was just a beautiful, it's like a metronome. It was like a metronome. It was an incredible and beautiful thing to see. Hope David Allen gets the treatment that he needs. And he's talked about retirement, saying he's been getting headaches. Maybe that's exactly what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to retire for the good of his health. For the good of his health. Health comes first. Health is wealth. Yeah, you gotta look after that number one. That's the number one priority. He's gotta take care of that. Okay, so those are the pronouncements on the prize fight. And so we move to the main card, or the main fight of the night. Why is everything looking so orange? Everything looks so orange. Okay, all right, got a bit of color now. Everything looks so orange, too orange. Okay, so the main fight of the night was Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas from Colombia. Oscar Rivas from Colombia, Olympic bronze medalist. Where are we? Did I get to you, Get This Smoke? Did you have your pronouncement on this fight, Get This Smoke? I know you went on a smoke break. Is Get This Smoke still here? I see his picture, but he's still muted. Okay. He's busy doing other things. John Dealey, are you still with us? Yes.
Yeah, I'm still here, Raphie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's good. Okay, so the main fight of the night was Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas of Colombia. Oscar Rivas, Colombia. Gold, silver, bronze, not gold, silver, but bronze medalist. Olympic bronze medalist. Beat, what's his name? Ruiz, Andy Ruiz Jr. In Olympic trials. Knocked him out at the trials. Selection. Knocked him out of the Olympics in the trials level. Okay. Also beat Pulev in the amateur game and was unbeaten in the professional ranks. Okay. So Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas, O2 Arena. I had picked Dillian Whyte to win by late round stoppage. But I was very tentative. I always said that I expected it to be a close match. I had done a little bit of research. I'd watched some tape on Oscar Rivas and found that he was a very, very tidy fighter. I like tidy fighters. I like fighters who cover up well and work efficiently. I like fighters who cover up and slip and slide, slip punches. And Oscar Rivas ticked all of those boxes. The only thing that I brought up before the fight, the only thing I questioned was his output, his punch output. That was a question mark to me. And so it came to pass that this fight came down to largely to punch output. Dillian Whyte just had the more volume. And I think ultimately he thwarted Rivas. He ultimately thwarted Rivas, even though Rivas dropped him, I think, in the 9th round. I think Rivas was thwarted by the jab and the awkward movement of Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte got home with a victory. Do you think it was that was a fair assessment? Do you think Dillian won? There's been some murmurs. Some people say, well, no. I think Oscar Rivas did enough to win. What is your view on the matter? I'll let you chop it up by yourself while I go and fix a drink, John.
Okay. I think Dillian put enough rounds in the bank to win the fight. He was controlling the early rounds. He landed more punches. I had predicted Rivas to win with a late knockout because I questioned Dillian's gas tank. I didn't want that to be the outcome, but I was concerned, and I was nearly right about it. But Dillian showed some real grit and got through the fight. I don't think it's a controversial result. I think Oscar Rivas didn't throw enough to win, but he's a good fighter, and I'd said all along I thought it was going to be a very close fight. So I haven't got anything to say that it's controversial. Ultimately, if you're gonna go slow and not put the work in early, those rounds count towards the final score unless you're going to knock your opponent out. Dillian put that work in.
Okay.
Dillian landed.
Yeah. So where did I cut you off there?
I was just pointing out that I think your assessment's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Dillian put enough rounds in the bank early.
Yeah.
I think he did fade.
Yes, he did.
Which, if you remember, I did actually predict that Rivas might win by late stoppage. That was my prediction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's because I was worried about his gas tank.
I remember that.
I think I was nearly right.
You were nearly right.
But I'm pleased Dillian won. I think he showed some good grit to get out of that situation, and I don't think it's a controversial result. Dillian put the work in early.
Yeah, I think so. He did put the work in early. I have to talk a little bit more about his conditioning. What do you think his conditioning looked like?
Well, that was my whole reason why I didn't think that. I thought the upset was on the card because Dillian's conditioning. I think when the fight was announced, Dillian had put on a lot of weight. If you look at those pictures of him there, he's got a food baby.
I can show you a picture with him with a food baby.
Yeah, he's got a food baby, and a fat camp isn't the best preparation for a difficult fighter like Oscar Rivas.
Hell to the no, no. Shit, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show everybody his food baby. Yeah, can you see? Oh, damn it! Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, when I clicked the wrong thing. There's his food baby. Can y'all see that? Can you see this here?
Yeah.
You see that food baby there protruding? There's no food baby over here. No food baby over here, but there's a food baby over here. And so what I'm saying, well, because I didn't see the weigh-ins, you saw the weigh-ins, I didn't see them, so I didn't know about how he was looking. But I have to say, really, that's not it. I have to say that I think going forward, Dillian is going to have to be more disciplined in between fights now. At this level, at this highest level, and he's at the highest level. At the highest level, you don't just have to be disciplined during camp. You have to be disciplined outside of camp also. And so now Dillian's got to the level whereby he is going to have to be disciplined in between camps. It's really that simple. What say you, John?
Well, I mean, that's what I think about all fighters anyway.
Mm-hmm. But some fighters can get away with it though. Some fighters can get away with not being 100% diligent. But Dillian, if you're prone to run, some people are prone to run to fat.
Well, Dillian's clearly one of the guys who's going to get fat easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to have an example of someone who maybe doesn't need to be as diligent, it's probably Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm. That's a good example.
But I would be interested to see what he does, because I don't think he's a big eater.
Who?
Deontay Wilder.
No, I don't think he's a big eater either. I think he's admitted as such. I think he said that
he's tried to bulk up a few times, hasn't he? And it doesn't. Yeah. Even when he puts it on, it doesn't stick with him.
That's correct.
And I just think that he's a borderline natural lanky cruiserweight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas Dillian's definitely a heavyweight, and he has got to really be strict, because he could end up being a bit like Ricky Fatton if he's not careful.
I think that's almost inevitable with Dillian, because clearly he's a man. You see, there's certain guys who enjoy their food. There's certain guys who enjoy their food. I think David Price is one of them.
Price is a definite.
David Price is clearly a man who has to come home of an evening and get the chips and the steak and kidney pie out.
I don't think Pricey has a very good diet. I wouldn't be surprised if he likes a few beers as well, and he's not.
Oh, bloody hell!
Fighting.
Don't mention the beers. I mean, washed down with about a couple of 2 or 3 beers.
When you're as big as Pricey, you can probably get away with having more like 6.
So yeah, because the guy's massive. I mean, 6 foot.
He's 6'8".
6'8". Bloody hell. 6'8". That's a hell of a frame. That's a hell of a frame. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Dillian Whyte doesn't eat properly.
I completely agree with that.
There is no doubt in my mind Dillian Whyte does not eat properly. And his biggest battle to me is to get his off-season nutrition in check. If Dillian Whyte gets his off-season, you see, the problem is what people don't understand is you can still eat a lot of food and not get fat, so long as your calorific output, that is the things that you do during the day, burns a sufficient amount of calories so that where the food that you eat is not stored as fat. So long as your physical output is not too dissimilar to your food intake, you can still eat a lot of food depending on the types of food that you're eating. If you are eating natural foods, unprocessed foods like beans, beans, meats and beans, lean meats and beans. You could have 3-4 meals of lean meat and various different types of beans with a light, low calorie, olive oil, whatever, kind of a dressing, and still be fine. But the problem is when you're eating calorie laden, processed foods, meal after meal, that shizzle sticks with you. So really half of his battle, Dillian Whyte's battle, is to change his diet full stop. He's got to change his diet full stop. What say you, John?
Well, they say Riddick Bowe was retired in the kitchen.
Chronic.
In the ring.
Chronic. He was a chronic overeater. Absolutely chronic.
And I think Dillian's got similar attributes in that he's the sort of guy he could really blow up big if he's not careful.
Yeah.
I do question how much training he's doing when he hasn't got a fight as well, because of what you said there. I mean, for me, if you're working hard as a boxer, even if you're just ticking over, boxing uses up a tremendous amount of calories.
100%.
So how is he getting that fat if he's regularly in the gym?
I think that a lot of professionals, when they're not training for a fight, they're not in the gym as much as perhaps they could be.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the people right at the top of the game, Mayweather was always in there. Andre Ward could have 2 years off. He's always in shape.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's Dillian. I think Dillian's the sort of guy who just likes to have a good fight.
Yeah.
And he's found a way to make some money out of it, and he's doing well.
He's doing well for himself. But you see, you don't have to be. I'm not even sure that I would advocate that a fighter always be in the gym. I wouldn't even advocate that. But what I would advocate is that when you're not in the gym, when you're not training for a fight, you have other physical pursuits that take over in the off season, and that has to be, for some guys, that will have to be programmed. So what I think Dillian needs is a program, an off-season program, an off-season physical and eating program. Off-season physical program and off-season eating plan.
I'd agree with that. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I think you can be boxing or you could be doing something else.
Yeah. So long as you're living the life, basically. A physical life.
Yeah. However you're going about it. I mean,
yeah,
probably depends on the individual and what injuries are carrying and everything else anyway. But
yeah.
Dillian's probably going to have to wait a long time to get his shot at Wilder. That he's worked really hard, and what he really needs to make sure he does between now and then is keep himself in absolute top-notch condition.
100.
I think it's a fight that he can win because I think Wilder's open to the left hook.
Yes, absolutely. I think if I was drawing up a plan for Dillian, I would say You see, it could be very simple. It could be very simple. It would be like swimming 2 times a week. Let's say Monday and Wednesday. Swimming for an hour 2 times a week. Treadmill 2 times a week. That's Tuesday and Thursday. So Monday, Wednesday, swimming 1 hour. Tuesday, Thursday, treadmill. Treadmill for half an hour, and then maybe some Tabata for another half an hour. So running and Tabata on the same day. Friday, I would say the weight room, along with, hold on, he didn't jog. Yeah, Friday, the weight room, and then jogging again, whether indoors or outdoors. Yeah, jogging. Yeah. And what's that? That's 5 days a week, and I give him the weekend off.
Well, 5 days is definitely enough.
5 days is enough.
And no rice and peas, because that'll definitely pile weight on you, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, you could have that like 2 days a week.
I'll be stricter than you, Raphie.
Well, yeah, I hear you.
He's one of those people that I think it just sticks to him.
Yeah, clearly. But 5 days activity. 5 days activity. No processed foods, no pies. You know, that was Joseph Parker's problem, the pies. You know, no pies. Natural foods, beans, and as much protein as you want with beans. Different mixed beans, all kind of beans, any kind of beans. And I think that kind of stuff will keep him flowing. The meats, white meats, fish, all good. Lots of vegetables, and lots of white meat. Vegetables and white meat with a little half a cup of beans. You know, that's your carbs there. When you can have that you could have that meal 3-4 times a day. 3-4 times a day, you can have your proteins with your vegetables. The vegetables should be 2/3 of the plate. The protein 1/3 of the plate. Half a cup of beans, and that's a filling meal. Cereals in the morning. Once again, stuff like oats, nothing processed. I reckon I could keep Dillian full, and salsa sauces, natural sauces, olive oil based dressings.
Pepper's good for you. Chilies
are acceptable. I reckon it's easy. It'll be easy to come up with an off-season program, but he 100% needs an off-season program.
Yeah.
100%. Kaz is telling me to put down the bun and cheese. Do you see any bun and cheese here?
He's always on that troll, isn't he, Kaz?
He's always on the troll. He's the celebrity troll. But to be honest with you, seeing Kaz here, when I first saw him come here, it was a very proud moment for me, because when Kaz takes time out of his day to troll you, you know you're doing something right. You know you're doing something right when Kaz takes time out of his day to troll you. So yeah, I accept his trolling. But once again, I ask you, troll. I ask you, Kaz. Troll Kaz. Do you see any bun and cheese in the building? Although, I'm quite partial to a bit of bun and cheese. I haven't had it for several years, and I ought to fix up, get some of that buller cake. Cut that shizzle in half. Cut that shizzle in half and put some red Leicester right in the middle. Smack some red Leicester right in the middle, mate. Yeah, and I might do that on air for you, Kaz. I might do that live on air. Red Glove Militant, we've kept you for a long time, and come on in, bro. Come on in.
So I did get to see this one.
Okay.
Because I know there was a couple other ones you asked me. I did get to see this one, and yeah, his conditioning did look terrible. Like he looked so gassed
Yeah,
in the second half of that fight,
yeah.
and I think that's a big contributor to why he got knocked down.
Hmm.
You know, I think if he had better conditioning, there's a good chance he wouldn't have even been knocked down in that fight. But he was, and was still able to pull off the win. So
Yeah.
it didn't cost him in this particular case.
No.
I
However,
agree with John.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's really any controversy.
No.
I think the people who are saying that Rivas was robbed are probably the same people who are saying that Whyte doesn't deserve a shot
Aha.
at Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I think there's a big correlation with that.
I agree.
But yeah, he definitely needs to do something in the off season. You know, food babies are not really what's the word I'm looking for? It's not really effective for your training.
No. It's not conducive
You know,
to good results.
It's not. You don't want to spend your training, you know, in
Get
fat
down the way.
camp.
No.
Yeah, you want the training to actually be working on what you need to for the opponent you have in front of you. So
Yeah.
he's very lucky that it didn't cost him this particular time.
Hmm.
He may not be so lucky in the future. I think the plan you came up for him is actually pretty good. You know, the treadmill and the swimming, along with you know, high protein diets. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. You know, if you're going to intake carbs, you have to use them.
Yeah.
It's when you don't use them. So, you know, if he stays a little bit more active, then he can intake more carbs. You know, so I think, you know, if he does that and he gets, you know, he does better as far as his conditioning in his next fight, maybe he should cut you a check, Raph.
I think I'm gonna have to get in contact with him about his off-season conditioning. My rates will be very favorable. Very favorable. You know, I have Scott 70 says jumping beans, Raph. Mexican jumping beans. Yeah, my rates are very favorable, so I'll be more than happy to work with Dillian in the off season. I think that's at the top level. I mean, some guys, a Wilder type of guy, if he doesn't train, he'll get skinny.
Yeah, but that's like, and that's the other thing. You know, he wants his shot against Deontay Wilder, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But do you just want to get that shot, or would you like to upset everybody? You know, I believe you pick Wilder to win that fight. I do too.
Yep.
I would love for him to prove us wrong.
Absolutely.
You know, and getting that conditioning down is only going to improve his chances of doing that. So there's no way it can work against him. So it's really in his best interest. You know, he hasn't been a champion, you know, a world champion yet. You know, he's had that silver belt for a good while, but me and many others don't really consider that to be a world champion. You know, that's really just holding his number one contender spot. So I would love to see him prove us wrong.
Yes, 100%. I think that Dillian Whyte, his next step up in the game, his next step is going to be his off-season program, his program in between fights. Because I mean, I think it's a very real thing. Joseph Parker was known to kind of blow up somewhat in between fights, and his trainer Kevin Barry said just of late, for example, in his last fight, okay, he didn't perform, he didn't get the guy out of there, but in his last fight he actually showed up to camp on weight, And I think that that's what he has to be. Look, that's what Dillian Whyte has to start looking at doing going forward in the future. He has to start showing up to camp on weight, not getting to camp and then getting on weight in camp, which he didn't even get into weight. He didn't get to the proper weight, his optimal weight, by the end of the camp. So it's something that Dillian Whyte has to do now. He's got the mandatory position. He's now the interim champion. And the next step in his game. Who's this? Is this somebody here? Is this somebody I'd noticed? No. It's just a reflection behind me. He has to now the next step up in the game. Now that he is interim champ, a champ of sorts, interim champ. His next step up in the game has to be to now starting to aim to come into camp on weight. And how he does that is having a physical exercise program throughout, 5 days a week. On the weekends, he gets to slouch, he gets to chill. For 5 days a week, he does something different. It doesn't even have to be exactly what I said. It could be even just something. He could literally be playing. He could literally be having a game of badminton. He could substitute one of the days for a game of badminton. He could substitute another one of the days for any activity that's going to raise your heart continually over a period of time. Pulse raising exercises, take your pick, just so long as you're doing an hour per day minimum of pulse raising exercises, 5 days a week. And then being mindful of your diet, having a dietary program. Nothing super strict, or rather nothing too routine. It can be a varied program, different types of foods every day, but still sticking with the basics of your vegetables and protein, vegetable and protein rich diet. I think that needs to be his program. That's the next evolution. If he wants to take that next step, that has to be his next evolution. Just imagine a Dillian Whyte who came into camp on weight. Yeah, just imagine. Everybody, just feel free to jump in now. Just imagine a Dillian Whyte who came into camp on weight. John Dealey.
Well, if you look at Dillian when he fought AJ, going back a long time, Dillian was the one who looked impressive physically.
More so than AJ?
Yeah, in that fight, yeah.
You think that Dillian Whyte looked more impressive physically than AJ?
In the amateur fight.
Oh, in the amateur fight. I thought you.
No. Not those moves. No, they weren't great. And I just think Dillian's probably one of those guys who developed young.
Yeah.
Hit 25, and his metabolism slowed right up, or he couldn't eat the rubbish he was eating when he was a young man, but he couldn't kick the habits.
Yeah. So he can't get away with the old habits now.
Kaz is convinced that he likes his yam and dumplings.
What?
Yeah, the yam's all right. It's the dumplings that are the problem.
Yam and dumpling dripping from his love handles. Meanwhile, Kaz is eating yam and dumpling for breakfast. We've never seen Kaz. Bear that in mind, folks. We've never seen Kaz. I've given him many an invite to come on the show, but he is always somehow, Kaz, will you come on Wednesday show? Let's wait for his response. Most of these heavyweights look horrible these days today. I think, Ross Clark, I think there was a horrible period back in when was that period when you had the Bay of Pigs?
The late 80s, there was a lot of fatties.
There was a lot of fatties in the late 80s. Bomb Squad, let's get that out of here. Let's get that out of here. Remove that. We don't need no Bomb Squad in here, Kaz. What are you talking about? What's your language, Kaz? No Bomb Squad. Red Glove Militant.
Well, first off, Kaz, you have to keep it family friendly.
Yeah.
No. Those words are just too profane. You can say squad. And you could say bomb
Yeah.
at certain points in your sentence, but never one
Never
right
together.
after the other.
Never together.
Yeah, never together.
Never together.
But I'm forgetting what I was gonna say about. But
Well, while you think about that, I'm just going to read out a few comments here.
Sure.
Toby Bartlett said, come back in when you're ready. Toby Bartlett said, how can he get away with it at Loughborough? Well, at Loughborough, he's doing what they ask him to do when he's at Loughborough. But the question is, what is he doing when he's not at Loughborough? You know, that's the point. What is he doing, Toby? What is he doing when he's not at Loughborough? And clearly, he saw the food baby he came in with. He looked 9 months pregnant, like Ruiz Ortiz when he came in the ring after the Wilder versus Brazil fight. You know, he looked like Ortiz. You know, he looked like somebody's uncle. You know what I mean? Ross Clark, today's heavyweights have to be huge and fat because the other ones are. Yeah, I would have to disagree with that, Kaz. I mean, Ras Clark. Conditioning trumps huge and fat. You know what I'm saying? Conditioning trumps that. Conditioning trumps that.
So what I will say is this, you know, not everybody can do the Andy Ruiz diet. You know, not everybody can intake the Snickers and you know you have to, being that this is your career, you have to know what works for you, because it also has to do with, you know, just how your genetics, you know.
Yeah.
I just mentioned Andy Ruiz, you know, we saw him eating Snickers and he came in pretty heavy, but it worked for him.
He was effective. He was effective at the weight.
Yep. So that obviously is not the case with Dillian Whyte, and he needs to do whatever he can to make sure that he's at the most effective weight for him.
Yeah.
You know, because you know that, like, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're in a close fight and you'll lose, because that's the thing. He kind of put himself in jeopardy in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he could have widened the gap had he been in shape.
Yeah.
Like you said, imagine a Dillian Whyte that started his camp on weight.
Yeah.
You know, that it would have been a very different fight. He probably, more than likely, he probably would have not been knocked down if that was the case. Not only that, he could have made himself look very impressive against an undefeated Oscar Rivas. You know, that, I mean, he got the win, but did he really look impressive? Up to an extent, he did, but like I said, the whole second half of the fight, he just seemed gassed.
Yeah.
And that has to do with everything that we're discussing right now. You know, he definitely wasn't on weight when the fight was signed.
Nope.
And you look at the pictures from, like, the face-offs and everything, and you're pointing out one obviously has a food baby and the other one is not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, clearly.
And the one who looks pregnant is not Oscar Rivas in those face-offs. So you know, these guys have to know what works out for them. I think Tom Schwartz was a perfect example, showing up with his Snickers in hand and still got handled quite easily.
Yes.
You know, Tyson Fury, he's a kind of a hefty guy, but it also works for him. You know, he's taller than Deontay Wilder, but has a very different body type from Deontay Wilder, and it still works for him. So that's what Dillian Whyte needs to understand. He needs to do what is most effective for his body type, what's going to work best with his genetics, especially if he hopes to become world champion one day.
100%. 100%. And I'm going to get into the chat. Ruiz is probably the worst shape of any heavyweight champion in history. He might be, but he's got those fast hands and he uses them. Where are we? Subskrilla. Big up Subskrilla in the building. Subskrilla says, that bit of chunk helps Whyte with body shots still. He gasses quicker than he should or could because he's overextending often on shots and gets sucked into dog fights when he can control the pace. Yeah, you see, even with Dillian Whyte, 14 pounds less than he showed up at, he would still have a little bit of chunk. I mean, I watched a documentary on gladiators, you know, the old school gladiators, the real gladiators, and it showed you their diet. And they had the gladiators. They weren't what they show you on TV now. They didn't walk around with six packs. They actually had to have a decent layer of fat around the midriff because if they got sliced by one of those hand swords they had to have enough fat to protect the muscle so they could survive a flesh wound with enough fat on their torso to not actually cut into the muscle so they could still be functioning. So Dillian Whyte, 14 pounds less, would still have a significant bit of fat around the midriff. He would not be walking around with a six pack. So when I'm not talking about Dillian Whyte rocking a six pack, I'm just talking about Dillian Whyte being closer to his optimal weight, you know, closer to 17 stone rather than 18 stone. You know what I'm saying? So that is what I think we are ultimately saying. So I think we've been on for 2.5 hours now. I think that's giving you guys value for your money. So with that, I think I'm gonna turn over to the guys for their final words overall before we say goodnight. Over to you, red gloved militant.
I feel that it was, it was a good weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I feel like it had, the excitement that the sport needs. I think we pretty much summed it all up, with the situation with Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought Keith Thurman was gonna beat him. He didn't, and I make no excuses for it. If Manny was juiced up, it was because Keith Thurman gave him the okay to do it, and not only that, but in a way, you're kind of opening yourself up to the same criticism.
Mm-hmm.
People could say, well, the only reason why he's giving him the permission to do so is because he plans on doing it himself.
Yeah.
So there is
your own integrity into question.
Exactly. So that right there, that rids any excuses that could be made. The better man won. Manny is a legend. He was a legend before the fight. He's only solidified that truth even more by beating a prime Keith Thurman. Price surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Chisora surprised me as well.
Yeah.
And Dillian Whyte, I'm glad that he won the fight, but he definitely needs to take his conditioning to the next level.
Yeah.
And thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. We keep on rotating the panel. Keep this thing on rotation. Good to have you. John Dealey, final words.
It's a really good weekend for boxing. I'm glad Manny won. I think that'll pique a bit of interest over there in America.
100
good fights to come. I'm pleased that the big plumber managed to win.
Yes, I'm pleased for Pricey.
There's more upside with Pricey. He's a better boxer. He's got some attributes, and he could be in some very entertaining fights because when he loses, it's usually entertaining, and and he can win anyway. So I mean, you know, I think there's some good fights for Pricey now. I think we've covered Dillian.
Yeah.
I think we know. Hopefully, someone will be able to get through to him, and he'll be in the best condition he needs to be for when he does fight Wilder.
Well, I'm gonna have to hit him up on Instagram and Twitter.
Somebody needs to get through to him because I think your diet's spot on for him, Raphie.
Yeah.
Even if you just send him some meal plans. You know, George Foreman never had the six-pack. Lennox Lewis often didn't have one.
George Foreman had the six-pack originally.
Yeah. When you see him in with Ken Norton,
yeah,
there's a significant difference in body fat. That
Ken Norton, George Foreman always had more body fat. Yeah.
You don't need to be that rippling, but Dillian's a long way from that.
A long way from that.
And it's more the going into camp with the food babies that worries me.
You nailed it on that show. You nailed it. You nailed the conditioning topic.
Yeah. So I mean, we've covered that.
Yeah.
Derek had a fun fight. And it's been a good show.
Damn good show. Damn good weekend of fights. There are other fights we didn't talk about. The FA at Jagba. But I think that was pretty self-explanatory. We already know that FA Jagba is a kind of slow puncher, kind of plodding. He's got power, but he's kind of plodding. The Kelly plant we could have talked about, but then we'd have been on here for 3-4 hours, you know what I'm saying? So we tried to keep it nice and snappy and bouncy. A nice couple of hours is good enough. We cover the main fights of the weekend. That's my aim, and that we did. It was one hell of a card, highly entertaining. I was entertained. You guys were entertained. It was a great live show. I'll be doing more of those, and I'm still considering the Deontay Wilder, going to the Deontay Wilder thing on the weekend. You know Deontay Wilder's in Birmingham, don't you, John?
I'm aware of it. How much is the ticket?
About 30 quid for the first, 40 quid for the first ticket on Groupon, and then the after party is about 20 quid. So it's a £50, £60. It's a £60 thing.
Where is it, Raphie?
It's in Birmingham City Centre, Broad Street, I think.
Is it the ICC or not?
The ICC.
Okay.
It's the ICC. I'm still pondering it. I'll talk about more about that on the Wednesday show. We're gonna chop that up. Should I stay or should I go? Ding 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? Should I stay or should I go? That is the question that we need to ponder for Wednesday. Yeah, great weekend of fights. Derek Chisora coming up with a shot in the arm just when he needed it most, coming off a knockout from Dillian Whyte and then knocking out Spilker in 2 rounds. Whether Spilker is shot or not, don't really matter. We've learned from the Deontay Wilder plan that what you really need in this game is highlight real knockouts. And do people really care that much if the people you're knocking out are third grade? You know, do the populace really care that much? That's something we can chop up at a later date. But yeah, Derek Chisora, excellent show real knockout. Pricey in a fight which I found very, very entertaining, highly entertaining to see the tall man doing what tall men should do. Use their attributes instead of giving up their attributes. And then, of course, Dillian Whyte coming in to training camp with a food baby, but pulling it out, taking care of Oscar Rivas reasonably well. You can't call it super comfortable. I mean, it's not super comfortable when you get knocked down in one of the rounds. That's not super comfortable, but doing enough to win over a very, very seasoned boxer. Oscar Rivas is no joke. It's said that people avoid him, and I can believe it. he came in great conditioning, but as poor as Dillian Whyte may have entered camp, he still outconditioned Oscar Rivas. Ultimately, he outconditioned him, So even though he put down his conditioning to an extent, he still had more in the tank than Oscar Rivas. High output. We acknowledge that and salute our new interim WBC champion as we await his potential ascension to the WBC throne. I still have Wilder as the favorite in that fight, but I do believe the Dillian Whyte, if he dots his I's and crosses his T's in the off season, I do believe he can put himself in a great position to win that fight, even though I have Dillian Whyte as the favorite. Let me stop sharing. Let me go into the chat. Let's see what people have been saying before we finally sign out. Yeah, it's time to give birth, Whyte. Lose the dead weight or lose the fight 100%. Demanding $50 million and stuff. Demanding $50 million. Who's that? Who's demanding $50 million? Oh, was that Oscar? Was that Ruiz? Talking about Ruiz, Ped? Ped, I want it in the UK now. Ruiz is letting the fame go to his head. Yeah, I want to see that fight versus Joshua versus Ruiz in the UK. I've always said it. Why give up your advantage? Why give up your home turf advantage? You've already had the away game. It's time now for the home game. Yeah. Slightly off topic. Subscriber says slightly off topic. What's taking the Joshua rematch so long? AJ says he wants MSG. No, they're talking about UK now. MSG would be fine with the Ruiz camp, but Joshua's talking about the MSG now. Monique Thompson says, yes, I should go. I'm very tempted, Monique. We're going to talk about that on the Wednesday show. Should I stay or should I go? I'm kind of tempted. I am very much tempted. Has everyone had a George Foreman grill? Yes, I have had a George Foreman grill. I think I chucked it away at some point. It gets kind of messy. The fat kind of drains off it, yeah, but then you need this little thing to catch it, and it doesn't always catch all of it. It gets kind of messy. I loved it in the end. But I'm happy to have contributed to George Foreman's wealth. No problem at all. Ross Clark said, Andy Ruiz throws good combinations and just enough footwork that works for today's heavyweights. Yes, he's an accomplished boxer in my eyes. I'm not impressed with these heavyweights these days, says Ross Clark. Fury is the only one with the overall skill package. Yeah, he's been doing it since he was a kid, to be fair, longer than the average guy. Longer than most of these guys, no doubt. But does he pack that knockout punch, that finisher, the equalizer? No. So lesser skill guys can come and, give him that tap and drop him as Wilder did. Okay. Yes. So, big thanks to Red Glove Militant, Tommy Temper. No. I meant Red Glove Militant, John Daly. And get this smoke. Subs, go to the chat. We got Sub Skrilla. We got the Toby Bartlett, the Ross Clark, the Vizio, the Toby Bartlett, Whole Monitor. Who else we got? We got Scotty down there in Thailand, the Ped, the John Daly. Scrolling up, the Sub Skrilla, the Monique. You just finished watching Love Island. Yes, Monique. Scrolling up, scrolling on. Who else we got? Who have I not mentioned? Of course, the celebrity troll, Kaz. Can't forget Kaz. Who else we got? Who else do we have? Scrolling up. The Big Boys Boxing was gracious enough to visit us. Big up Big Boys Boxing. The Joe 5698-4 was in the building. The D-Bro was in the building. Who else we got scrolling up? The Hamed. The Earn with Hearn. It's kind enough to visit us. And scrolling way up, Fireman was in the building. Rekunbach 2K in the building. Yes, and many more. PC Jacob. How could I forget PC Jacob? And many more. Okay, so this has been Live Boxing Talk with Raphie, episode 35. Glad that you could have joined us along with the Red Glove Militant. Thanks to the John Dealey and the Get This Smoke. Okay, we're back on Wednesday with the Philosopher's Hour. And then on Friday with another Live Boxing Talk with Raphie. And of course, the Saturday edition. The question is, do I go to see Deontay Wilder on Saturday night when he's here in Birmingham? I'll leave you with that thought. It's a Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. It's a Live Boxing Talk with Raphie. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we are out. Blessed.